Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is AJ Lanigan, and we're getting ready to kick off this webinar. I want to welcome you down here in partly cloudy South Carolina. And I want to start off by showing you a book, because we're going to be talking about this book quite a bit. Beta Glucan, Nature's Secret by Dr. Václav Vetvicka. Now, you can go to the Vita with Immunity website, vitawithimmunity.com. That's V as in Victor, ITA, withimmunity.com. Now, this is a website that I've set up for you guys to really increase your learning curve, really get you out of the gate in a hurry, understanding more about the immune system, and then understanding more about how these products are going to help your immune system be all that it can be safely and to tremendous benefit. Even people that are healthy can get tremendous benefit from using our products. So with that, I need to go over here and share my desktop with you. And I want to go the entire screen. Okay. And I've got some standby help here, making sure that I'm punching the right buttons. And yeah, I see the magic occurring. And we need to find the presentation down here. Okay, the PowerPoint. And you should be now looking at the first slide. I'm going to begin the presentation and talk to you a little bit about the Restart Your Life branded products. Now, I first gave this presentation at the CEO school a couple of months ago in Miami, Florida, and that's where I actually met a great number of you fine folks and really got started, giving a presentation like this to the group. Our Restart Your Life folks been looking at this for 2 or 3 years, and really up to speed on the immune system and how to support the immune system and how to help the immune system be all that it can be. But our 3 products include the RVB 300, the RYL 500, and the Trinity Lotion. Now, the RVB 300 is a combination of not only our beta glucan 300, but also resveratrol and vitamin C. Now, resveratrol, and you can go to some place like Wiki and read up on it and get some good basic background information. But the reason I put it in there not was for the standalone benefits of resveratrol, but for what it did to actually bump up the immune response received by the beta glucan as a standalone at low dose. And then we found out that we could actually add vitamin C to the cocktail and get just a little bit more juice for the squeeze, if you please, at low dose. Now, the RYL 500, you would use that in addition to the RVB 300 if for some reason you wanted or you needed additional immune support. Let's say you're a 24 karat gold 5-star athlete. I like to use that example. You have absolutely no health problems. You eat good food, you're taking the right food supplements, you're getting good exercise, you don't have any stress, drinking good water, breathing good air. I mean, everything is perfect in your life. But let's say you get ready to compete in the following weekend, or let's say you're getting ready to have your wisdom teeth removed. Well, these would be great examples of even a healthy person who would want or need additional immune support. So there we add the 500s to it. Now, these products are easily dosed. They're dosed strictly based on body weight, your age, your condition of your health. None of these things have anything to do with the dosing of the product. It is dosed strictly based on your body weight. So if you know what somebody weighs, then you can properly dose these products. With the RVB 300, you're looking at 1 capsule for every 110 pounds of body weight. If you're taking the Restart Your Life or RYL 500, you take 1 capsule for every 55 pounds of body weight. However, if you're taking both together, the RVB and the RYL 500, you can cut that 500 dose in half. Now, our Trinity lotion, people say, well, you know, what's that all about? Well, very simply put, the Trinity lotion is all about helping your skin be as healthy as it can be. Our skin, it's largest organ in our body. It helps keep the good things in and the bad things out. So we want to make sure that the skin stays healthy. We want to make sure it has the proper nutrients. We want to make sure that it remains elastic. We want to make sure that it remains hydrated. All of the things that the skin needs to be healthy to serve us, because as a barrier, it's extraordinarily important that we keep the innards inside and safe from what's going on outside. So let's get started here. Probably the most common question is, what is glucan? Well, it's a natural polysaccharide existing in a, I kind of compare it to a long string of pearls. Those pearls are actually glucose molecules that are bound together in a special combination, a special configuration, and they tend to end up making a key, if you please. And that key is the perfect key that fits a receptor site on the surface of our immune cells. Now, that receptor site over the years has been actually referred to as the glucan receptor. But with the onset and upgrade of technology, we have better identified it and renamed it the complement receptor number 3, or CR3. And when our molecule flips that switch, as I say, it turns the Woody Allen immune cells into Schwarzenegger cells. It really helps the immune system to be all that it can be. And that's really what you want, because even though, again, you eat well, you take just the right food supplements, that's really all about making and building and maintaining good, healthy bone and tissue. But see, the body tissues, cells, and organs, they can't protect themselves. That's where the immune system comes in. So just like a beautiful building that you've built, that beautiful building needs to be protected. And that is where the immune system comes in. So from a standpoint of nutrition, our product's really not the classical nutritional compound. It doesn't help build healthy bone and tissue. But what it does do is it does a great job, again, of supporting the immune system and that immune response to protect and preserve and maintain your good health by helping to protect that healthy bone and tissue. Beta-glucan is a natural immunomodulator. We really don't like to call it a stimulant, more of an activator, sometimes called a BRM, or biological response modifier. Now, glucans, that's kind of a general term, like paint. You got red paint, white paint, you got water-soluble paint, you got oil-based paint, you've got flats, you've got satins, you got indoor, you got outdoor. So paint is not very specific in regards to selection and identification. Same story with glucan. Glucans can, depending on their sources and the way that they're processed, can either be soluble or insoluble. Now, where can glucans be found in nature? Well, we elect to use Saccharomyces cerevisiae, otherwise known as baker's yeast. Now, we actually have our own proprietary strain of Saccharomyces cerevisiae. We totally control the growth and maintenance of those cells. Why? So that we get the same consistent return when we harvest them and process them, so that we don't get big swings in our active compound. Now, in places like the Far East, China, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Mushrooms have been in their medicine cabinet for thousands of years. Now, those are sources of water soluble glucans, and they basically make teas and soups, and not just for food, but they realize that there are medicinal qualities relative to those compounds. That medicinal quality, long before they ever realized it, are based upon the glucans that are present. There are bacteria. There are seaweeds. Actually, there's a brown sea kelp known as laminaria. And from that, you can harvest beta glucan. Again, an example of water soluble glucans. In this area, you got the little Cheerios girl. She's talking about glucans in Cheerios. Well, oats and actually barley has more glucan in it than do oats. The FDA over a dozen years ago qualified oats, if you didn't process and get rid of all the glucans, to be able to make a claim about lowering cholesterol. That is, along with a diet low in cholesterol. But barley actually has a higher content, and more recently, just a couple of years ago, was able to share that change. So different sources and different processes will yield different molecules that come from these sources. Now, what are some of the targets that these compounds have been tested on? Well, as one researcher put it, everything from earthworms to shrimp to chicken to mice to rats to guinea pigs to horses and pigs and birds and, yes, even human beings. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you care about your children, it can be given to children. In fact, we've had, I think to date, something like 4 double-blinded placebo studies of our product, not something like our product, but the product that's actually in the pills that you have, that demonstrate the great effects of supporting the immune system in the areas of things like upper respiratory tract infections. Who thinks that their kids, when they go to the out to play with other children or to the daycare centers and so forth, aren't going to come home with the colds and the sniffles and the ear infections and so forth. Now, what is the effect of an immune system that's working the way it's supposed to be? An immune system that's being supported by these compounds. Well, it's been tested and published in the medical journals relative to anti-infection immunity, anti-cancer immunity, more rapid and more complete wound healing. Over the last several years, studies more on cholesterol, blood sugar, radiation, chemo, the protection. That is, by supporting the immune system, people just fare better. Their white blood cell counts don't crash. When you support the immune system, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of good things happen. We know that living here on this planet, as a result of having more pleasures, more technology, well, we're exposed to more and more toxins, heavy metals, so many more benefits. Stress. Now, probably people that are listening to this today, probably you don't have much stress in your life, but a lot of people do. Mercury. This has been more and more in the news. Our fish, our water plants, and so forth, soaking up the mercury from so many sources. Anti-inflammation. I want to tell you, inflammation leads to so many illnesses and bad events, whether it be arthritis. So helping with inflammation. Again, these all being functions of the immune system. You ladies in particular, you're going to be interested in the fact that uptake of iron can be improved if you're using your iron alongside this product. Allergies, boy, again, more and more trait of living in civilized worlds is the allergies that our children and adults suffer more and more. Now let's get down into what's referred to as the mechanism of action. You often hear mechanism of action in regards to drugs and how they work. Basically, our capsule, which is demonstrated by the little green dot up there, goes down through the alimentary canal through the stomach, and that powder ends up in the small intestine. Now, you got about 200 chances to win there. There are about 200 Peyer's patches, P-E-Y-E-R apostrophe S. And within the Peyer's patches, you've got M cells. Now, these M cells, stands for microfold, physically grab our particulate, pull it through the lining of our intestine into the GALT, the gut-associated lymphoid tissue. Now, you have to understand that the gut-associated lymphoid tissue is where a lot of your immune system cells live. Let's just take B cells, for example. It's estimated that as many as 80% of the body's B cells live in the GALT. Other types of cells, macrophages, dendritic cells, T cells. This is the first time that the immune system and the immune cells actually get a glimpse of our product. Now, what they do once there is you have cells called phagocytes. Phagocytes are cells that phagocytose or gobble up. If you remember the old game Pac-Man. So they gobble up our particles and they start moving through the lymph system, transporting it to all parts of the body. Places like the tonsils, if you still got them. The appendix, if you still got them. But moving through the lymph vessels, moving through the lymph nodes, passing off material to other immune cells like the neutrophils, which are actually some of the most abundant of all of our white blood cells. In fact, they make up on any given day anywhere from 50 to 70% of your total white blood cell army. The spleen, the lungs, even the bone marrow where our blood cells are born. It's very, very important that you understand that our compound does not do anything in the body to change the blood chemistry. It's not going to react with any kinds of food supplements or drugs that you may be taking. In fact, research has shown that things like chemo and radiation and antibiotics actually work better with good immune support, specifically using beta-1,3-D-glucan. So as these immune cells are transporting our product throughout the body, they're actually digesting these insoluble particles and turning them into soluble molecules. And it's then these soluble molecules, as I say, these unique keys that activate that CR3 receptor and do what it's supposed to be doing. Now, here we see that transport of material, and the results of that, an incredible compound. Now, that's not just me saying it. When you look at all the peer-reviewed literature that has been published, not only on the way that this material works, but how does it work compared to other so-called immune support compounds? This is just a sampling of some of the top immune compounds in the world. If you look up at the top, the Crestin, that's in kind of a pinkish purple color. By the way, that's us up there at the top, and that yellowish gold that's high above the rest. And as you're looking from left to right, you're seeing a gradual incline in immune response based upon an increase in dose. The more the dose, the higher the immune response. And again, it is dose to weight related. Now, our compound is noted by Glucan 300, way above the rest. But if you look at that PSK Crestin, this is actually a drug, been approved as an anti-cancer drug, gosh, 25, 30 years, again in Japan and some other Southeast Asian areas. It runs about $10 a gram, and the dose is anywhere from 3 to 6 grams daily. So you're looking at roughly $900 to $1,800 monthly to use that product. Kind of makes our $55 look pretty good. I don't mind naming names and pointing fingers. when you look at products, say, for example, like Epicor, it takes 64 times the dose to equal a 1x dose of our product. And if you look up Epicor, there's not a whole lot of difference between the price per bottle, but boy, what you would have to pay. And can you imagine the amount of water you'd have to drink to take 64 of their capsules versus one of ours? So really, if you're looking for something for good immune support, something that has been proven safe and beneficial time and time again, written up time and time again in prestigious medical journals like the Journal of Immunology, Anti-Cancer Research, Biomed Papers. I mean, the list goes on and on. Here's some other graphs that we use to depict what some of this research has shown us. We know that things like chemo and radiation cause our white blood cell counts to crash, which opens us up to all kinds of infections, slow healing, just, not a good scenario. So down there, those gold triangles indicate what happens to our white blood cell count if we don't do anything. We also see the little green line representing resveratrol. Now, resveratrol as a standalone does a pretty good job in helping recovery from chemotherapy. And glucan, well, glucan does a whole lot better, if you can see the blue line. But look at the combination of the resveratrol and our combination of glucan and vitamin C. Again, what they call a statistical or a significant difference in both the speed and the amount of recovery of our white blood cell counts in the face of chemotherapy. So we don't have to get outside the box. All we got to do is point to the literature that's out there in the public domain, in PubMed, Medline, medical journals, major teaching hospitals and universities all around the world that are doing research in the area of immunology. Believe me, they know what these compounds are. Here is another graphic that shows, for example, cancer. Now, this is a mouse study, but we don't get too many human volunteers for $30 a head to let us put lethal dose anthrax or lethal dose of radiation or other things that would significantly impact their health. So we end up using rats in a lot of these experiments. But we are now in phase 3 human studies with cancer, with a water-soluble injectable form of our material. And you'll be finding out about that in other more advanced presentations. But you kind of see the rapid and tremendous tumor growth as compared to what happens when you support the immune system with our beta-glucan product. So what can we conclude from this brief presentation? It is one of the most studied natural immune modulators in the world, and that research just compounds more and more, literally on a daily basis. Resveratrol, again, as a standalone, it's a great natural product. It's found in a lot of plants. It's found in the lining of dark grapes. It's found in peanuts. We actually use an extract from Japanese knotweed. Resveratrol has so many different positive effects on different biological processes. They actually talk about anti-aging, as well as, of course, free radical scavenging. Just, again, go to Wikipedia. It's not the most perfect place in the world, but it gives you the gist of some of these things. It works wonderfully to enhance our beta-glucan and its activity at low dose, and also the vitamin C. Now, this combination is not something that is brand new. This is something that I rolled out in 2010 after, gosh, we started researching it, the possibilities back in 2006. So 4 years later, we launched that product, and we've got 3 or 4 years under our belt out in the marketplace, just doing a beautiful job. And now with the Youngevity Nation, we're really looking to move these things to the new level. So I'm going to give you a little homework. Again, look in the center here, the vitawithimmunity.com website. Look at the various videos that are there. This just needs to be something that you do on a regular basis, and revisit, rerun the videos. Go back and print out the FAQs. We have a simplified FAQ as well as a detailed FAQ. Print them out, keep them with you. Physically read them with family members or prospects that you want to talk to about this product. Each time you do it, you will remember more, you'll learn more. There's a 2.5-minute video on mechanism of action. See, we now know exactly what happens when this compound goes into the body. And whether or not you completely understand all the science, I think is a moot issue. I think it's important that you know that somebody somewhere has done this work, is well established, and the people that need to know it, and certainly can explain it to you. Now, down there at the end, and we don't put it at the end because it's the least important. One of my great friends now, Ty Bollinger, just a champion of champions, has been going border to border, coast to coast over the last couple of years, and has created a series called thetruthaboutcancer.com. I encourage you to go to that website. It doesn't cost you a dime to enroll. They'll send you updates from time to time. But second in the series, he has a video series. The second one in this last series talks about immunity versus cancer. And on that series, you're going to see medical doctors, you're going to see DOs, you're going to see oncologists, you're going to see experts in every field sitting there and clearly explaining that in the face of an immune system that is working at its best. In fact, one doctor says it outright: there is no place in the body for cancer cells. And this is an incredible thing. Again, infectious disease, allergies, so many things that we afforded interest to earlier. Now, this is the first in a series of videos, and we hope that you enjoyed them. I'm going to kick this back now so that I can give you another little quick look-see at our book. And let's see what else I need to do to get this thing out of my way. Here I am. Okay, again, get your hands on this book. You can get it from Amazon. We just got some of these books back from Youngevity. Their decision not to have it in their back office, something to do with some legal issues they felt, because again, it does talk about cancer, infectious disease, and other things. But their attorneys are a lot smarter than I am. So, but make this book part of your library. Carry it with you. Read it, study it, and be good students, and then be good teachers. So until next time, be safe, be healthy, and have a happy day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.